I think Sakoa desperately needs this one because there's nobody, Zach, nobody who's buying into Solo Sakoa right now.
Yeah.
Like when it was reported that like they were considering putting money in the bank on him, people were genuinely concerned about that. What is going on, you guys? Welcome into the Takedown on SI YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino and Zack Heydorn with you as we do, as of right now, have a premium live event we need to discuss that is going to be happening Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. because it's time, I guess, to go to Saudi Arabia for WWE. It's look, hopefully, I'll just get this out of the way first. Hopefully everything's fine. Hopefully they get in and out without any complications. Obviously, there's a lot going on over there in that region, not necessarily in Saudi Arabia, but in that region right now. If you're not up to date on world events, I just hope everybody gets in and out safely. I said publicly on X prior to the ceasefire being agreed upon that I thought this should be pushed off. Then hours later, the ceasefire between Israel and Iran was agreed upon. So hopefully things have calmed down. We can all enjoy a good show this weekend. Zach, nice to have you back from vacation. You missed a lot. It's nice to have you back.
Man, you ain't kidding. Missed a lot, and glad to be back and glad to be here discussing the show. I mean, there's always complications with shows in Saudi Arabia. It's why Saudi Arabia is not involved in this conflict per se, but it's in the Middle East, and obviously there's unrest there with the situation right next door. This is why, with a multitude of other reasons, why WWE gets paid the way they do to go over there and do shows. And so it makes for shows like this more complicated because there's more at stake than just, fun wrestling match and this person should win and that person should win. There's more to it than that. And I'm glad we started with that caveat because the rest of it pales in comparison to the importance of that point.
Right. And it really has been hard for me, kind of like I'm sitting here going, okay, do we do the predictions video? Do we even talk about this PLE? Are people even going to care? There are larger, things at play with this particular premium live event, but for the sake of the fact that there is a PLE this weekend, and look, there are some very huge matches on this card.
Yeah.
We need to discuss said huge matches on this card, which again, hopefully go off without a hitch. Both Friday Night SmackDown, which is going to be in Riyadh, as well as Night of Champions. That further complicated things because if it was just like getting in and out for Night of Champions, like on Monday when there was only 5 matches on the card, like, okay, you're talking about 10 performers. Maybe you do it with the minimal crew as possible. No, they also got a 3-hour SmackDown, so they're taking literally half the roster.
Well, you know what else? It's like, I think, look, 5 years ago or whatever, 8 years ago now, I guess, when this show started in Saudi Arabia, like that deal, the show used to live kind of like here was like the cadence of WWE shows, and it'd be up here, like just kind of living on its own. So if it
was a glorified house show.
You could like easily wipe that off the calendar. Everything's okay. Now it's so ingrained to the calendar year of WWE. It's harder just to like say, we're not going to do that show. Or if you're a talent, I'm not going to do that show. It's way harder to do that now than it was, 6-8 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I get it. Like last minute thing. I mean, because like really the situation over there really escalated within the last few days, right? With the airstrike that happened on Saturday. So less than a week ago at this point. And then before, Tuesday had finished up, there was a ceasefire in place. So things escalated very quickly. They de-escalated very quickly. It's hard for WWE also from a logistical standpoint to pump the brakes on everything last minute. Again, safety is the top concern. You do what you have to do. I think personally they were in a good spot where, hey, let's move SmackDown to the PC in Orlando. Let's pump off, Cody and and Randy and John and CM Punk until Saturday night's main event. We can do the Queen of the Ring finals at Evolution. You got a couple of PLEs coming up that you could spread out the card and keep your build going for a couple of more weeks. I mean, we're not that far off from the next two next three PLEs. So and they really haven't even started building toward Evolution yet, or at least it feels like they've stalled that because of the unfortunate injury to Liv Morgan. So look, they had plenty that they could have maneuvered off onto these other shows. But again, from a logistical standpoint, it's easier for me to sit here and armchair quarterback this thing and say, well, why don't you just do this, this, and this, than it is to actually do those things. So the show's still going on this weekend. We have 6 matches on the card. We thought we were going to have 5. Then there was a massive shuffle on Monday because not only did we add 2 matches, but we lost one in the fact that Dominic Mysterio is also injured. Kayfabe or otherwise, he's not able to compete against AJ Styles for the Men's Intercontinental Championship this weekend. So one of the matches, Zach, that we got added to the show, I'm actually genuinely excited about, because that means for the first time in 2.5 years, Mr. Heydorn, Karrion Kross is going to compete in a singles match on a PLE. Man. Let's just talk about for a second Mr. Karrion Kross, who was one of the most overperformers WrestleMania weekend. Granted, he's from Las Vegas, right? Hometown guy. So he's in Las Vegas. He's like barely there, man. Like he got unceremoniously tossed from the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Yeah. Got a Daniel Bryan Royal Rumble level like boo fest when he got tossed out in that matchup. He shows up for all of like 8 seconds just to get punched by AJ Styles at WrestleMania 41, and the crowd inside Allegiant Stadium loses their damn mind. His shirt is selling all like hotcakes. He has not wrestled on television, live TV, since his match with AJ Styles on the Raw before WrestleMania. He's had 4 main event matches. He's lost one of them. Some of his segments aren't even on television. They're on the ad, the people who pay to not have the ad tier, right? The ad-free tier for Netflix. Sometimes those are the only ways you can see him on TV. And yet he continues to get more popular by the week. He's got the WWE universe firmly behind him. When he showed up this past Monday on the segment to set up this match that was televised, the pop in Columbus. The pop in Columbus was insane for him. This just goes to show you, some people just can't be denied, Zack Heydorn.
I can't explain this one too much. I mean, I really can't. Like, this is just a situation where, yeah, fans are taking the Karrion Kross right now. I think they like the meta narrative of, man, this guy's not getting pushed. He's pretty good. We kind of like him. Let's get behind him. And I think that there's, especially nowadays in wrestling, there's the ability for that to happen with fans. There has been no signs that the company is interested in pushing Karrion Kross. I mean, so much so that I think even this match is a troll job on some level, putting him in the ring with one of their best baby faces that they have in Sami Zayn, and trying to get him to play the part of a heel. So I don't know what to make of this. I'm happy the guy is getting a nice payday on a Night of Champions show on pay-per-view with Sami Zayn. If there's anybody that can really get a nice match out of him, it's Sami. I think, Sami has good matches with everybody. He is a chameleon in that way. He can work with damn near anybody. Johnny Knoxville, sure. Yeah. Randy Orton, awesome. That's his range. And Karrion Kross is somewhere in the middle. I expect this to be a fun match. I'm really interested to see if the Saudi crowd is in tune with kind of the momentum that Karrion Kross has established. We'll have to see, but this is a fine match for this show, especially as a fill-in.
Yeah, and I think everybody kind of watched that what was it, like a Raw Talk promo or whatever it was that he did after WrestleMania, like after Joe Hendry showed up and he completely flipped out. And they've watched that his work, like his character work, his promo ability on social media, and him just kind of using his platforms to his advantage to get the crowd continuously behind him. And now, look, win, lose, or draw, being on the card, that's a win for him. Like I said, he has wrestled, I think, just as many matches outside of the company this year as he has on television, at least singles matches this year. He has primarily been used on main event, not even Saturday night's main event. We're talking main event that people don't even know is on Peacock on Saturdays. That main event that they have done nothing for. It is literally filler matches to get the crowd hyped up for Monday Night Raw. They don't do anything creatively with it. He's wrestled guys like Dragon Lee. He's wrestled guys, I think, like Akira Tozawa on these shows, like
NXT guys.
Yeah, exactly. They have done nothing with him except use him as a vehicle, as a tool to retcon their own storylines, right? To use him as like this master manipulator backstage that, oh yeah, he's the reason that AJ Styles turned heel, and he's the reason that all the other guys that they worked with, and anybody that he messes with backstage, even though he gets his ass kicked, even though he's the one that messes with everybody backstage, he's the one who manipulates them into turning to this dark, sinister side of themselves. And now they have really ramped that up and made that the story with Sammy, because in Karrion's mind, he's just trying to help him out to get Sammy to the level that he needs to win a world championship. That said, Sami Zayn is nowhere close to winning a world championship right now. He can't qualify for Money in the Bank, did not make it to the King of the Ring finals. I would have personally loved to have seen this be the King of the Ring finals. They couldn't even get Karrion Kross in the damn tournament because they had to put Jey Uso in the tournament so he could lose in the semifinals to Cody Rhodes, even though the matchup on Monday was great. We'll talk about the King of the Ring tournament coming up here in a little bit. I don't think it would hurt Sammy at all, the trajectory that he's on, because if this I'm going to win a world title storyline is going to come to fruition, I don't think it's coming to fruition until Vegas next year, after he maybe wins the Royal Rumble or he wins the Elimination Chamber or something of that nature. I don't think he's winning a world title anytime before then, if it happens. How this match goes down is going to tell me a lot about how they view Karrion Kross moving forward, because there's also his contract situation and whether or not they've even approached him for an extension. So this may be a make or break match for Karrion Kross. Do you see him getting the win here, or does Sammy go over?
I think Sammy goes over. I think Sammy goes over. Like until, as I said, there's no indication that even though Karrion Kross has this momentum behind him from a fan perspective, that they're interested in pushing him on TV. Like it's not there. And you couple that with the contract situation that you just talked about, and most guys in that situation aren't getting wins over, one of the best, most beloved baby faces on the show. So I'm taking Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I feel like this is either something is going to happen to allow this story to continue into SummerSlam, or this is it. And this is the blow off, and then it's time to hold your breath if you're a Karrion Kross fan. I'm kind of leaning more towards this being the blow off of this. I'm going to go with Sammy going over Karrion Kross as well. We got 2 women's matches on the show this weekend. Always nice to see the ladies get involved in these Saudi Arabia shows. This one should be a ball. A street fight between Rhea Ripley, her good friend in real life, Raquel Rodriguez. So this is a matchup that was set up throughout the Queen of the Ring tournament. A lot of history already built between these two. Here's Zack Heydorn. They have good chemistry with one another. I think this is going to be fun. I have no doubt in my mind Rhea's going over, though.
Exactly. I can't add much more than that. Fun match. These two always deliver, when it comes to like showcase matches like this one, especially with kind of like the garbage street fight stip on with this as well. They're going to be able to do so many things, and they're not going to have to keep it in the ring. It's going to benefit Raquel Rodriguez to have a match like that. And these two they can, if you've watched their match history together, dating back to big matches that they had in NXT, like they get after it. The two of them get after it. And This is going to be no different. But, there's no question that Rhea Ripley gets this victory, and she should.
The only thing that I would say, and again, it depends on how many people they want to take on this trip, which for many reasons I said, laid out at the top, I would take as minimal staff and talent as possible. But if they bring Roxanne Perez along, if they bring any other number of the Judgment Day along to be there with Raquel, that could set up a situation where, again, it's a street fight. You don't even have to use the dirty sneak around Judgment Day tactics. You could just literally have Roxanne Perez show up and help Raquel Rodriguez win this.
Yeah.
A lot of it's going to be toward the build, however, for Evolution, because prior to Liv Morgan's injury, it sure seemed like she and Raquel were heading toward a matchup with the Bellas. And now Nikki Bella has disappeared from WWE programming due to that injury, I have to imagine. I don't know what the plan is for Raquel and Roxanne, who we presume is going to be stepping in as the women's tag team champion for Liv. So maybe, just maybe, this could be the precursor for whatever they're going to do at Evolution, and you can have Roxanne help Raquel get the win.
Yep.
But again, the location, everything about life, Zach, is about location. I just don't feel like Roxanne is going to be making this flight over unless she absolutely needs to. So it's going to be one-on-one. I'm going with Rhea Ripley. The Men's United States Championship is on the line. Jacob Fatu defending against his former tribal chief in Solo Sakoa. This one, I do believe, I firmly believe, the numbers game is going to be in Solo Sakoa's favor. Zach, should fans of the Sakoan Werewolf be nervous for this one?
I'm going to say no. I think you can be a confident Jacob Fatu fan here. I think you are 100% accurate. If you want interference and you want shenanigans, this is the match that's going to have a whole mess of that. But I'm not messing with Jacob Fatu at this point. People want to see Jacob Fatu beat people up and destroy lots of stuff. Man, that they can line up for him in this match perfectly. I mean, Solo Sakoa, obviously he can beat him, but you've got what? Oh my God, Jeff Cobb. His other name is now escaping me. JC Mateo there. There's going to be a lot of bells and whistles that you're going to be able to use to make this match about Jacob Fatu. And to me, I know that like conventional wrestling storytelling says, hey, you put Solo Sikoa over and you have Jacob Fatu chase for a while. I just don't know what well, let me take a step back. What you have on the side of Fatu right now is momentum. It is that idea of dominance. It is that idea of like reckless danger that can come out of this guy at any time. That's what's connecting. And I think if you kind of neuter that at this point by saddling him with a loss, even if it's really, really protected, I think you ruin a good thing that people are connecting with Fatu on. And I don't think you want to do that. So I think if you're a Jacob Fatu fan, you are in good shape this weekend and still United States champion, Mr. Jacob Fatu.
That was a very pointed, lucid, very intelligent argument.
Hey, blind squirrel. I
think you're dead wrong, though.
I knew that was coming.
I don't believe a loss really hurts Jacob Fatu here. And as a matter of fact, I actually think a loss, especially a cheap one, could really kind of get the fans more behind him. Because if you screw this guy over when you think that, this guy's going to you have the rocket strapped to his back and, he's going to have this ultimate trajectory and he's still undefeated and he hasn't been pinned, he hasn't been submitted and all this other stuff. If you screw him over, I really think you might actually get more people who are going to be pushing, going, I can't believe they did my boy dirty like that, and like really, really getting people behind him. And I think that this would be an excellent spot for, you say JC Mateo, and that's somebody you got to worry about. Yeah. I think you bring in a guy finally like Hikuleo and get him on television and debut him, where you can have Jacob Fatu so concerned with neutralizing Jeff Cobb, he does not see the interference of the next bloodline member, whatever you want to call Solo Sikoa's crew now. Or maybe you even bring back, if they're ready, the Tongans. So like I think people forget that they are out in the ether and they exist. You could bring all of them back and just orchestrate this huge, massive assault on Jacob Fatu and still only have Solo Sakoa eke out a win. I think Sakoa desperately needs this one because there's nobody, Zach, nobody who's buying into Solo Sakoa right now.
Yeah.
Like when it was reported that like they were considering putting money in the bank on him, people were genuinely concerned about that. Mm-hmm. And to his credit, Solo Sakoa, his character work over the course of the last year has truly, truly blossomed. You are seeing his personality shine each and every week on Friday Night SmackDown. And he's genuinely hilarious. Like, I don't know why they had him just be this stoic, silent, like bodyguard type dude when there was that kind of, you know, I don't know, like clown is not the word I'm looking for here, but like, you know, this other side of him, right? Where he can lean into the entertainment side, but the same guy who decimated John Cena on a PLE, destroyed that man, nobody's buying into anymore because they haven't built off of that. I think a win for him here, even if it's cheap AF, benefits Solo Sakoa so much more than it does hurt Jacob Fatu. The betting odds of these matches, I'm not going to reveal which one's which. It still favors Jacob Fatu, but this one's is the closest of them all. I'm picking this one as my upset special. I think we see a new United States champion here.
Me and betting odds don't get along very well, so that's not a good sign for my pick. But I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think you'll see like how if you're in the Solo Sakoa business, you may want to think of, putting that victory on him just for that reason, to kind of save him a little bit, catch the free fall, if you will. Because, I'm arguing against my own pick here, but if he does lose, it's like, well, now what?
Now what?
I mean, now what do you do? So, I mean, to that end, a win opens up possibilities. Now, are they interested in that? I think we'll know by the end of the weekend.
Right. He had a chance to beat Roman Reigns, didn't do it. Couldn't win the Royal Rumble. I don't even remember if he was in it, to be honest with you. Couldn't win the Royal Rumble. Couldn't win Money in the Bank. Now, if he loses just flat out to Jacob Fatu, like, I feel like it's over, right?
I mean, this is a guy that a year ago was in the main event of SummerSlam with Cody Rhodes. Like, I mean, he's been in big spots before, so it wouldn't be unheard of to see him walking around with that title.
Yeah, it would benefit him greatly. Now, he'd probably lose it back to Jacob at SummerSlam, but that's 2 months away. You could at least have him walk around and remind people that this is a guy that you are invested in. I think it would help him out a lot. We have our Queen of the Ring finals. It is Jade Cargill. It is Asuka. I have a feeling I know who's winning this one, hands down. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, though, Zach, because it's like, damn, man, do I want Asuka and Io Sky at SummerSlam. It's right there.
That is where I'm at.
Right there.
That is where I'm at. I don't think I can, in good faith, pick Asuka in this because Jade Cargill has been such a project, and you build up to this big singles win for her. Naomi looms with Money in the Bank. She's a cash-in away from being champion, and you doing Naomi and Jade again at SummerSlam, this time for the title. I mean, that's right there for you too. So I think that's the plan. That's who I'm picking. I'm picking Jade. But, and that Asuka Io Sky match, I mean, that's right there too. And so this is a really tough choice. I thought Jade had a bit of a clunky match with Roxanne Perez on Raw. Like, it was okay in spots, but it was kind of like, Jade Cargill like in spots where there's just a little bit off in certain spots. I think she could have a kick-ass match with Asuka. Asuka is somebody that you can go in there with. You can hit real hard. You can do big power moves. Asuka can sell, but she can also dish out like her own offense. And I think you're going to be able to see some range from Jade Cargill on this one. This is a toss-up for me if I'm Triple H, but I'm staying the course with Jade Cargill, and I think a win is big for her in this position with the presentation that she's got since she's come aboard. So I'll take Jade, but I am so with you on Asuka versus Io.
Yeah, and look, you can get to Asuka versus Io in other ways between between now and then. I think that's such a money matchup that they have to do it. I feel like though you brought Asuka back and she's won like her first 2 matches, boom, boom, and it's just like, okay,
yeah,
let's kind of remind the world who Asuka is after 11 months off and all these major accolades that she's had. And, she's primarily been utilized as a tag team wrestler for the last couple of years of her, while she was in Damage Control for the last little bit of her career before she got hurt. Let's remind folks that she is one of the greatest of all time, period, end of story, not just in women's wrestling, period, but everywhere, right? And let's ramp her back up and let's have her win another world championship, or at least go balls to the wall with Io Sky at SummerSlam. I would like to keep her hot. But again, there is the star factor with Jade Cargill, right? And I would agree with you. I feel like there's just times where she's in the ring and she just gets in her own head. Like she just gets in her own head, and like even the finish Monday night on Raw, it's like she forgot what her next spot was. It was like she was trying to hit the power bomb, and then she was like, oh wait, nope, now it's time for Jaded. Let me go ahead and hit Jaded. And sometimes I honestly think like her opponents, if that happens, it's almost better to just kind of go with letting her hit you with one more move and then having her do her finish or whatever it is. Like, cause I feel like that happened at WrestleMania against Naomi as well. I might be misremembering. My memory is terrible, but I've seen it like multiple times where it's like, damn it, I forgot my spot, or I forgot where I was supposed to go next. And I feel like sometimes she just gets in her head. And I feel like all she needs to do is just really kind of relax and trust herself. Like your boy Stone Cold said, if you're thinking, you're stinking, right? And she hasn't been awful, but she just hasn't quite reached that in-ring potential that we all know that she has. But she is a massive star. She's got the presence. She's obviously got the athleticism and the strength and the power. She is a spectacle. There's no question about that. You could see why WWE wants her to be a massive success. The reason why I believe that she is going to win and face Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam is because she is going to win the championship and set up the Money in the Bank cash-in that makes the most sense. She's going to win the title. Naomi's going to cash in on her, and then the chase for Jade Cargill begins. So I think that's what's going to happen at SummerSlam. So I'm going to go with Jade Cargill to win Queen of the Ring. That's a nice little look. That's a nice little step up for her. She wins Queen of the Ring. She wins the WWE Women's Championship. Yeah, she gets like an Andre run where she has it for a little bit. She gets that Drew McIntyre 5-minute stretch, whatever it is, but sets up for Naomi to win, and then she can win it back at some point down the line. This one's a little bit more interesting here, Zach. Our King of the Ring finals. For the second year in a row, Randy Orton is there. Last year, in controversial fashion, mind you, but still, last year he was there, lost to Gunther. Gunther goes on to win the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam when he beat Damian Priest. Now it is the mentor versus the mentee. Is that the right word? The mentee? I don't know. But it's Cody Rhodes, former WWE champion, wants to be WWE champion again. Randy Orton going after number 15. He also wants another rematch of John Cena. Presumably, it's going to be John Cena. Who wins this one? Who goes over in the King of the Ring finals here?
I mean, I got to take Cody in this one. Like, just for the sheer fact that I don't think WWE is going to put John Cena versus Randy Orton in a SummerSlam title match in one of the biggest matches of the year. I just don't see Randy Orton in that at this point. And I very much see Cody in that at this point. I mean, that's kind of his spot. And this is an avenue in like the storyline narrative of WWE for him to get another title shot. So it's really hard for me to pick against that because it just aligns so easily. And it's been what they've been building towards since WrestleMania is this final showdown or another showdown with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. You got 2 nights at MetLife Stadium. You've got a really big weekend in New York, New Jersey. You need a major match to hold that all down. And I mean, I guess you could argue whether or not Cody versus Cena is that match in reality, but that WWE as a company thinks that it is and proved to be at WrestleMania 41. So the meta of this is taking me out of the fun because it just makes sense for Cody to be that challenger, given what's at stake. So I'm taking Cody.
You spend all that time in May, if you're WWE, advertising one final time John Cena and Randy Orton.
That too.
Are we really expecting them to come back and go, nope, wait, sorry. Now it's the final time as they meet at MetLife Stadium at SummerSlam. Like, they already did all the marketing.
Yeah.
They're kind of, with the way they market this John Cena run, it's like they're already telegraphing like who's winning his matches, because it's like one final time CM Punk and John Cena this weekend. Okay, well, all right, we can kind of tell how this one's going to go.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when the main event shows up. Look, the second that Cody lost at WrestleMania, I had him pegged to win the title back at SummerSlam. This is the avenue to get there. John Cena, you got to have time for him to go on his redemption tour. He's not ending as a heel, and I already feel like, you know, we're starting to see the slips in that. He was on, who did he talk to this week? He was doing media for Night of Champions this week, and he made mention that it was like, oh, well, the fans are going to dictate how this next 6 months are going to go. And I'm like, sir, you just spent the last 6 months telling us the fans it doesn't matter what they think. So he's already showing the cracks in the armor there. He's going to turn babyface again at some point. CM Punk already kind of getting in his digs on him. And I know I'm spending a little bit too much time talking about the match that we haven't even gotten to yet. Point is, Cody's the guy. He's gonna fight John Cena. Cody's gonna win the King of the Ring, which means I'm picking John Cena to retain the WWE Championship over CM Punk this weekend. I'm very, very happy that we are getting this. You know, we talked about on the takedown discussions earlier this year, Zach, that I wanted at some point to revisit the Summer of Punk storyline, and I think that they have played this off very, very beautifully, albeit very, very rushed, because like CM Punk was in the middle of a feud with Seth Rollins heading into Money in the Bank. And then the second that Money in the Bank is over, it's like, nope, I'm here and I'm going to John Cena now, and Seth Rollins is going to dance. He's going to dance off in the background. And it's like they've stopped that, but yet it's still kind of there. It just feels like it would have been the natural progression to continue that. It's like CM Punk was just like, well, screw Money in the Bank. I don't need that. I can just go right up to Cena and I can request my shot at it. And it's like, well, then why did we care about anything that we just did in the weeks leading up to that? So it's been kind of shoehorned in here for this Saudi Arabia thing. I do like certain aspects of this. I love the fact that John Cena, being his twisted, manipulative heel mind, was like, all right, I'll give you a shot, but you got to be a hypocrite and you got to go to Saudi Arabia and fight me for it. And then CM Punk was like, I'll go to the depths of hell to fight you to take the WWE Championship back. The pipe bomb reversal was absolutely spectacular, even if CM Punk had to look like an idiot and lay on a table for 10 minutes.
That was my issue. I was like, what do you do? God. Okay, keep going.
But like the promo itself was brilliant. I'm willing to look past that, right? So they really did, I think, over the last couple of weeks, play this out very, very well. I feel like they could have gotten some more legs out of it. Regardless, it's going down this weekend. I do feel like they're going to reverse it. It's going to be John Cena. He's going to win. He's going to blow CM Punk a kiss. I think it's going to be a BS finish. I'm hoping they can get a good match out of these two guys. You know, it's another one of these storied rivalries. The one last story for Cena to tell on his final run, but I don't think the result is ever going to be in doubt here.
That's the thing. Yeah, I'm with you. I had a moment today where I was like, holy cow, CM Punk and John Cena are wrestling in like 3 days. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's just crazy. I mean, I love those matches back in the day. That rivalry is, you know, in a time of WWE where you didn't have a lot of like great material to work with, that really shined bright. And so the nostalgia of that, I think, is appealing to see, okay, what are they going to do? Do they have the same chemistry? And I think they have clear, like, strong chemistry together. It's just, what can they do now that they're, 10, 12 years older than they were last time? I don't know. We'll have to see. I agree with you that I think this has been a rushed build out of necessity. If you just don't have the dates left for this match, and you really want to do it, and maybe it wasn't in the cards. Maybe it was like, oh, yeah, we don't really need it, but they almost were forced to do it when CM Punk continue to get the big pops that he has. It's like, all right, well, we kind of have to do it now. And so you got, what was it, a three-week build to this. In 3 weeks, you can't do, everything you'd want to do to build this match over the course of 6 weeks or 7 weeks. You just can't. There's so much history that you can't play into all of it. And so I think that there's been hits, there's been misses, but overall, the best part is yet to come. And that's the two of them in the ring again, in a one-on-one match at Night of Champions. And I don't think that the result is in doubt. I mean, we just went through it. Like, Cody and John Cena is the match that needs to happen. That rematch has to go down. For that to happen, he's got to retain this title here. So it's a matter of how it happens and just how good the match is. And I'm excited to see that all play out. But John Cena is winning this match, hands down.
This one's going to hit all the nostalgia feels. Like I'm with you. The fact that it's happening this weekend, giving everything else that's going down in the world right now, the fact that it's happening on this show on a Saturday afternoon here, like it's taking away from the luster. But the second that these two are in the ring with one another, I'm going to get that feeling like they had at the Royal Rumble, like they had at Elimination Chamber, right? Like I'm going to get that feeling again. And I'm going to enjoy it until ref bump, low blow, title shot to the head.
Belt shot, yeah.
Right. Is there a possibility Seth Rollins cashes in? I don't know if they waste that in Saudi Arabia, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the play, and I hate to sound like a broken record, I feel like the play is you have Seth cash in on Cody after,
SummerSlam,
at SummerSlam. But then you're doing the same thing over. You're doing both cash-ins. You know what? That might be a good discussions episode. If you could pick which cash-in to do at SummerSlam, Naomi's.
Which one do you do?
Rollins, which one do you do?
Yeah.
That could be.
Tease,
we might do that. We might do that this week. We might do that this week. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, if it wasn't going to be Cena and Cody at SummerSlam, this would be the match I would book at SummerSlam. So the fact that this match isn't happening at SummerSlam tells me that it's going to be Cena Cody. Cody's winning the title there, and then you start John Cena's redemption arc. We appreciate you guys tuning in for, holy crap, we went over a half hour on this card. I wasn't wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Brevity. We got to speed. We spent too much time talking about Karrion Kross, but we never get to talk about Karrion Kross. Man deserves it.
Damn you, Karrion Kross.
No. Karrion Kross is great. Great dude as well. So I'm happy he's getting this opportunity, and hopefully he gets more opportunities. Make sure to give this video a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to check out all of our other stuff that we got going on here. We dropped interviews. Trust me, I've been busy video editing. Dropped interviews with The Undertaker and Michelle McCool. Athena went up this week. Talked with who else? Zelina Vega, and I got some my conversation with Charlotte that will be dropping later on this week as well. So a lot here, a lot coming down on the takedown on SI. Plenty more to come in the weeks ahead. So we appreciate the support, and stick around. Turn those notifications on. Make sure you don't miss anything. Enjoy Night of Champions this weekend if you can, if you choose to, and we'll have you covered over on the takedown on SI. Have a great weekend, everybody. Zach and I will be back with discussions Friday, 9 a.m. here on the channel. Longest StreamYard works. Take care, everybody.
See you.